Hi friends, welcome to Cards by TLC. My name is Tammy Savello, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator out of the San Francisco Bay Area. Welcome back to my weekly Fun Fold Fridays, and we are bringing you another Fun Fold. Well, actually this week we are bringing you a 3D project. Today is a adorable post-it holder, which I will be making this into a post-it calendar holder. So where the sentiment is here as listed in this sample, we are actually later on in the year going to be adding a calendar to the front of this. So this will be a calendar / post-it holder, but this is my last calendar. So I have, rather than ordering more of the 2023 calendars, I'm going to go ahead and order the 2024 calendars and make them for my holiday craft fairs. But I do have a craft fair this weekend, so I decided I would just make it a cute little post-it holder. Now, as I mentioned last week, we are trying something new, and this is actually a premiere video. So if you are watching me live Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific time, you will notice a live chat on the side, and I'm actually right here in the chat to answer any questions you may have. And if you happen to be watching the replay, not a problem. I always go back and answer any questions or comments that you may have. But if you are here live on Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, you will be seeing a live chat off to the side. So let's go ahead and get started. Now the pieces you'll need, obviously you will need some Post-its. You can get them, I got these off of Amazon, and it has a variety of color. I'll go ahead and put in the description box below where I got them off of Amazon, but I think it was like a box of like 48 for I think like $35 or $32. I can't remember what the price is, but I'll put a link in the description box as well. But it comes in a variety of colors. You will also need 2 pieces of cardstock, and this is actually cut from 1 8.5 by 11. And this is in Balmy Blue. Now remember, all the sizes and dimensions will be on my blog post at cardsbytlc.com. And that link is also in the description box below. So you will need your 1 card base, which is going to be cut at 3 1/4 by 10.5. And then you will need a second piece of Balmy Blue. I believe this is Balmy Blue. Yes. 4 3/4 by 7. And then the designer paper is actually from Countryside Inn in the annual catalog. You'll have 2 pieces. One piece is cut at 3 1/2 by 3, and then one other piece will be cut at 3 1/4 by 2 1/4. So let's go ahead and score our card bases. Now we will bring in our paper trimmer. That is our paper trimmer / scoring tool. That is what I love about our paper trimmers. It is a scoring tool as well. So let's go ahead and start with our longer piece of our card base. And we are going to be scoring at 4 inches, 8 inches, 9 inches, and 10 inches. And then we're going to bring in our second smaller piece, and along the 7-inch side we are going to be scoring at 4 inches and 4 1/2 inches. Then we're going to turn our card base vertically, and we are going to be scoring at 4 1/4 on either side. So 4 1/4, flip it, and score at 4 1/4 again. Now, along this part where you're going to see like more of a wider space here, you'll probably can't really maybe see the score lines, but along this left hand side where it's like a bigger space to do that, you will see a score line right here that is like a 1/2 inch. So you are actually going to be taking your card base and going to 1.5 inches, and you're going to take your scoring tool and just score down to that first score line. So just a little bit to score down to that first score line, and then you're going to flip it, and along the 5.5 mark you're going to see that score line right there. So that's lined up in your vase. So basically you're just scoring down to that first score line right there, and that kind of helps us when we're cutting to make our box. It helps format as to what we're going to be cutting out. Now, I did go over the score line just a little bit, but that's not a big deal. That's not going to do any harm. So let's go ahead and do our cutting first and foremost. So right here, you'll have two little, I guess, little rectangle pieces. You're going to be cutting those off. So you're going to cut up to that score line, and then come around here, and you're going to be removing these pieces. I don't think I cut that out very well. Make sure you cut that out. Boy, I'm not lining that up very well. Make sure you line that up. So it removes out. Get out of there, little guy. Then you're going to do the same thing on this line. You're going to cut along that first score line, and then along here, remove that piece, and then these little square pieces right here in the middle, you're going to be cutting up to that first score line, but you're also going to want to remove just a hairline. I call it miter. You're going to miter these edges, kind of come in at an angle, and that helps when you're folding up the box. And you'll see anytime you're making a box, you kind of want to miter out these little notches, and see how that kind of gives it an angled cut. That makes the box fold just a little bit more easier. You don't necessarily have to, but I find when I make boxes, it's just easier to come in at an angle and trim off just a little bit of that cut. I'm just going to come in here and just kind of pull these out, so I'm not fussing with them. Okay, so that is what your box is going to look like. Now what we're going to go ahead and do is, now we are going to fold up our folds here and come in with a bone folder or any type of bone folder to crease those edges. It's not necessarily, but anytime you're making any type of box or any type of fold or a fun fold, you definitely want to come in with a bone folder and crease up those edges. So we're going to come in here, fold that, come here, and fold that. Now what we're going to do is we are going to come in with a corner rounder. If you have a corner rounder or a corner chomper or anything like that, you can go ahead and do this. You don't have to do this, but it just makes it look a little bit nicer with that rounded edge. So we're gonna come in and corner round off this edges, and as well as our designer paper. So we're gonna come in here at an angle, because this is a trio punch that we had, but unfortunately are no longer available. Oh, that's just not lining up very nicely, is it? There we go. Come in here, line up those corners, or use a corner chomper, whatever you might have. And then you're going to take the larger designer paper and come in as well and round off those corner edges. And that is the only cornering that you're going to need to do. So what I'm going to do now is come in here, and we're basically decorating the inside of our box. So you're going to come in here with your designer paper and line that up with a nice little border around the edge. Come in here with our Tombow. You all know that I love my Tombow glue. Almost out of our Tombow glue at this bottle, but this will at least get the project done. You're going to want to line that up, and then I'm going to flip this over, and we're going to be decorating the outside with our designer paper. And what you're going to want to do is just kind of center. You can make this designer paper just a little bit longer if you'd like to, but I'm just going to, once the box is folded up, it just makes a nice little border. So I just kind of eyeball to see how centered that is, and that looks pretty centered to me. Oops. Without moving. Stay put. Now you're going to want to come in with some really strong adhesive. You're either going to want to use tear and tape, Stamp and Seal, or Stamp and Seal Plus. I have some Stamp and Seal, and that's pretty durable enough for this project, but you definitely want to make something that's going to be durable. The Tombow does work, however, I personally think for boxes you want a stronger adhesive. So I'm just going to come in with my Stamp and Seal, and then you're going to do the inside pieces right here of the inside of the box, because you're going to be folding up those and making a box. Now you're going to take our little inside panel pieces and these pieces and just kind of come up, and you're going to want your little flaps cut on the inside. And this is where I explain that coming off at an angle, it makes the box close more nicely rather than having to fight those little edges as you're folding up your box. So again, inside, and then come up, and then lay those down, and then I'm going to come in with my fingers and hold the edges and just seal that down. And there is the front end of your box. Now we're going to, before we finish with our sentiment and our leaves, we're going to make the back end of our box. See, you made the front end of your box right here. Now we're going to be making this back portion with the easel that kind of props that up. So that is where your longer piece comes in. And you're going to come back in with your bone folder and crease all of your edges. And then I'm going to show you how to fold this. So you're just going to want to come in like this, come in like this, and then what you're going to want to do is fold that edge up and then kind of go back like this, crease that edge, come forward, and then back. So let's go over that again. Forward and back. So from this bottom half where it has all the creased edges, up, down, and back. And then you're going to crease that, and then you're going to come in with your adhesive again, and along this edge right here, you're going to want to run adhesive down that edge, and then you're gonna fold that top edge, line that up corner to corner, and press down. Now remember how I said that we didn't need that corner rounder punch? I lied. We do need it one more time. We're gonna round off these edges to even out, because if you round off the first half, if you don't round off the second, then that leaves the little edges right there. So you definitely want to come in, either round all your edges or none of your edges. Okay, and there you go. Now what we're going to do next is come in with our adhesive, and you're going to run that adhesive all the way down. So about 4 lines, do it just fine. Then you're going to come in with your box and make sure, I got to come in at an angle that I can make sure I can see my corners. And you're basically going to be laying this right on top, corner to corner, edge to edge. And then you're going to come in and kind of put your hand in the middle of the box and just kind of press that down. And there you have your box. Now we're going to come in and decorate. This label is from the Something Fancy dies that's in the annual catalog. And these leaves right here are from the online exclusive Irresistible Blooms dies. So you can get this. This is not in the annual catalog. This is in the online exclusive in my online store, and it's in Hello Irresistible. So there is that. And we are coming in with a sentiment from the color and contour from last week. You are absolutely amazing. Can you tell I love that sentiment? Now, going forward, if you want to put a sentiment there on the front, you can certainly do that. But if you choose to use the calendar, this is where you would actually add that calendar with very durable adhesive. So you're going to glue the back of your adhesive or the back of your calendar and put that on your designer paper. So that kind of leaves that nice designer paper border edge. Now, you don't necessarily have to use pretty designer paper to cover this up. You could use a solid piece of coordinating cardstock to make a dark border around that. But since we're not putting the calendar on, I just thought it would be really pretty to use the designer paper and do that instead, and a nice fun sentiment. Come in here with Misty Moonlight. Can you tell I'm the blue girl now? So now we're going to come in with our adhesive again, and we are going to bring in our leaves and just kind of put the leaves right there, 2 on the top and 1 larger at the bottom. Come in, and actually I'm going to put in my Post-its because that'll be easier to lay that down, because that gives me some security. And then lay that down, and then I am coming in, of course, with my favorite tinsel die or tinsel gems in the Misty Moonlight. And come on, little guy. So 1, and I always do like to do clusters of 3 without rolling off. Come back here, little guy. There. Okay, we are. Only downfall about these gems on this one, there's like this is like a waxy surface, so sometimes it's kind of hard to get your putty. I need to get another putty tip on my edge. So there we have our little projects, our Fun Fold Friday. So cute, right? Isn't this fun? Well, I want to thank you for stopping by today. Wow, words are hard. I want to thank you for stopping by today. I sure hope you love this Fun Fold. And if you do try this out, please be sure to tag me in it. I would love to see your creations. I'm at Cards by TLC on all social media platforms. If you enjoyed today's project, I would love for you to click that like button on my video. That helps my channel grow. And if you know of anyone that would like to watch my weekly lives, be sure to and my videos, please be sure to share my channel with them. That also helps me grow. If you have not yet hit that subscribe button, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button and be sure to click the notification bell to all so you don't miss out on my future lives. Well, I want to thank you all for stopping by. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and be sure to join me next Friday for another Funfold Friday. Bye, everyone.